Dear students, we were discussing reactions of dihydric alcohols, and we discussed in our last lecture about simple oxidation of dihydric alcohols, which does not involve any cleavage of carbon-carbon bonds. So today we will do oxidation reactions of these alcohols, which will involve fission of carbon-carbon bond holding hydroxyl groups. Those groups which has OH group attached to them, those carbon cleavage between those carbon carbon bond will take place. So fission is called breaking or cleavage. So let us discuss these reactions. So basically the reagents that are used for doing such type of reactions are HiO4 and lead OCOCH3 lead tetraacetate and HiO4. It is used in aqueous medium and it is used in some organic solvent. Basically, if we have any 1,2-diol, if we react this with HiO4 or this lead tetraacetate, so what happens, the oxidation takes place but with the cleavage of this carbon carbon bond. This bond cleavage takes place, and this CC bond, it gets COH bond, it gets converted to your C double bond O plus C double bond O. So that is the reaction that we are going to discuss today. So here oxidation as well, oxidation of this alcohol has taken place, as well as this cleavage of carbon carbon bond takes place. So basically these are done with HiO4 and lead tetraacetate, and when we do the reaction with HiO4, the name of this reaction is Melprade reaction. So when we do this oxidative cleavage with HiO4, so this reaction is sometimes called Melprade reaction. So suppose now let us try to write. Suppose if we have ethylene glycol, if I react it with HiO4 or your lead tetraacetate, so what will happen, this bond will cleave and oxidation will take place. So we will get 2 HC double bond OH aldehyde, so formaldehyde. So with HiO4, if we have to write the reaction with particularly with HiO4, then we can write here CH2OH CH2OH plus HiO4. This bond cleavage will take place. So you will get CHO. This OH group gets converted to C double bond O. So H C double bond OH plus HC double bond OH plus HiO3 and plus water. So this is the overall reaction with HiO4. If we have your lead tetraacetate, if we react it with lead OOCCH3 then what we get is again the product is same, HC double bond OH plus HC double bond OH. Basically these terminal alcohols, they are converted to your aldehydes plus PbOCCH3 twice plus 2 acetic acid. So this is the complete reaction with HiO4 and lead tetraacetate, and only those alcohols, polyhydric or dihydric alcohols, they show this reaction in which this OH group is attached to adjacent carbons. Now suppose we have two examples, propane 1,2-diol and propane 1,3-diol. So let me write the both the cases. So CH3 CHOH CHOH, this is propane 1,2-diol, and this is your CH2OH CH2CH2OH, this is propane 1,3-diol. Now this upon a reaction with HiO4 or your lead tetraacetate, this undergoes this reaction because OH group is attached to adjacent carbon. So This gets converted to CH3C double bond OH acetaldehyde plus this was your CH2, so this gets converted to HCOH formaldehyde plus HiO3 plus water. If we use this HiO4, if we use lead tetraacetate, then acetic acid and lead diacetate. So these are the product, but this upon reaction with HiO4 and this lead CH3COO4, it shows no reaction. So that is important point. Only those compounds they react with this HiO4 and lead tetraacetate and undergo oxidation with carbon-carbon cleavage, in which these OH groups they are attached to adjacent carbons. Like in this compound they were not attached to adjacent carbons, so no reaction takes place. So you have to be very careful. This is a particular reaction for polyhydroxy compounds in which these OH groups they are present on adjacent carbons. Okay, now let us see, instead of these polyhydroxy compounds we have some other compounds that undergo these type of reactions. uh, Dialdehydes, they also undergo such reactions. Suppose we have CHO, this is a dialdehyde, so they should be at adjacent position. The condition remains same with HiO4 or lead tetraacetate. This undergoes oxidation with carbon-carbon cleavage. Now aldehydes gets oxidized to your carboxylic acid, COOH plus HCOOH. So these are the products obtained. So dialdehydes they undergo such reactions. Diketones also, if we have diketones they also undergo such reaction. So we can write a reaction like CH3CO COCH3 and with your HiO4 and lead tetraacetate. So again this cleavage will take place. So CH3COOH plus CH3COOH. So dialdehydes, diketones, they undergo such reactions. Similarly, alpha hydroxyaldehydes, they also undergo such reactions. So example of such a compound is CHO, CHOH, CH2OH. This is your glyceraldehyde. You can see this OH group is present as alpha position to this carbonyl, so it is alpha hydroxyaldehyde. Now in this compound we have to break these two bonds. So because these both will cleave, as these two OH groups are present on this carbon, so both this bond as well as this bond will cleave. So we need 2 moles of 2 HiO4 or 2 lead. So for one carbon-carbon bond we need 1 mole of HiO4 or lead tetraacetate. For if we have to cleave 2 bonds then we need 2 moles. So what we will get, this aldehyde will be converted to HCOOH and these internal alcohols. So the OH group which is present to internal carbon, that is also converted to this formic acid. So you have to remember, for internal hydroxyl groups they are converted to formic acids, plus this will be converted to aldehyde, HC double bond OH. So if we had one more carbon chain, then we would have used 1 more mole of HiO4. This I will discuss with you when I will discuss the use of this reaction. Okay, so here I am just mentioning that what type of compounds can undergo similar reaction. Similarly, alpha hydroxy ketones, they also undergo such type of reaction. So the example can be CH2OH, C double bond O, CH2OH. So this is alpha hydroxy ketone. This upon reaction with HiO4 or your lead tetraacetate, both can do the cleavage. Again these two this as well as this bond will be cleaved. Now CH2OH, it is terminal alcohol, so it is converted to aldehyde. This C double bond O gets converted to carbon dioxide. This terminal alcohol gets converted to aldehyde. So terminal alcohols, they get converted to aldehydes, whereas internal alcohols, they get converted to acids. So you have to remember this. So once again I will tell you with some this polyhydroxy compound. Suppose this is a polyhydroxy compound, then these two OH groups, these are called terminal because they are present at last, and these two, these are internal. So these terminal, they will be converted to aldehydes, these internal, they will be converted to your carboxylic acids. Okay, you have to remember this. So these type of compounds also undergo such reaction. There are some compounds which does not undergo this reaction, so those compounds which do not undergo these reactions, also alpha hydroxy carboxylic acids, they do not undergo this reaction. Similarly, alpha hydroxy ester, they also do not undergo. Then alpha hydroxy ethers, they do not undergo. So these compounds, they do not undergo this melparade or this oxidative cleavage. And alpha hydroxy ketols or acetals, they also don't undergo such reaction. So let us write the structure. Alpha hydroxy carboxylic acid means COOH CHOH CH2OH. This is an example of alpha hydroxy acid. So this bond will not be cleaved because they do not undergo such reactions, but this bond can be cleaved. Okay, alpha hydroxy ester. So alpha hydroxy ester is, now instead of carboxylic acid we have some ester. So this is your alpha hydroxy ester. So this bond will not be cleaved, so because they do not undergo this reaction. Alpha hydroxy ethers, let us write alpha hydroxy ethers. So CHO CH3, so this is some ether, CHOH CH2OH. This bond will not be cleaved, this will also not undergo this reaction. So alpha hydroxy ketols, COR dash twice, these are ketols, CHOH CH2OH, this bond will not be cleaved. So these compounds, they do not undergo this reaction, but these compounds, dialdehydes, diketones, alpha hydroxyaldehydes, alpha hydroxyketones, or these glycols, they undergo the oxidation in which this carbon carbon bonds, it gets cleaved. And this alpha hydroxy carboxylic acids, alpha hydroxy esters, alpha hydroxy ethers, alpha hydroxy ketols, they do not undergo this type of reaction. So it is just to remember all this information because it is quite helpful. Now let us see the mechanism. So let us first do the mechanism with para-iodic acid HiO4. Let us see how this reaction takes place. Suppose we have any diol in which this OH group is present on adjacent position. Now if we add HiO4, then as you know, this bond will get cleaved. C double bond O plus C double bond O and plus HiO3 plus water. So we have to do its mechanism first. The first step of mechanism is this HiO4, and it reacts with this your water, so it combines with the water, so you get H5IO6. now this is ionized to H positive plus H4IO6 negative. So this is your reacting species. Its structure is, I will write its structure. Its structure is IOH OH OH. This your one more OH 1 2 3 4 double bond O negative. So that is structure of your H4IO6 negative. The first step of now after getting this reacts with your diol like this, COH COH, they react and this water gets removed. This water will be removed, so you will get CCO CCO I OH OH double bond O negative. In the second step, water will be removed. This water will be removed, and what you get is I will write here C or what I can do, I can write here because we have to use this product again. So I will write this product here. So you get C O O I C double bond O C double bond O negative. So this water gets removed and you get this product. So what happens in the next step, this sort of rearrangement it takes place. This bond shifts here, this bond shifts here, and this bond it shifts here. So no, sorry, as we have to cleave this bond, so you have to be very careful. Start from this because we have to cleave this carbon carbon bond, so we have to keep in mind. So there I had made a bond, but we have to cleave this. So start from here, this shifts here, this goes here, and this bond goes here. Yeah, now this is correct. uh, so please don't get confused as I have done a mistake, but don't just you start from this carbon carbon bond because we have to break this bond. So first start from here, then move electrons, then it is quite easy. Now you can see what happens, this bond breaks, this bond comes here, what it becomes, C double bond O. You can see this also, it becomes C double bond O. So it has been oxidized, plus IO3 negative. So it can combine with H positive to give you HiO3. So that is how the reaction takes place. This is the mechanism of this reaction. So it is quite simple. First you have to get this. This is obtained by combining HiO4 with water and removing this proton. Now this proton it can combine with here to give you HiO3, and here water was removed. So water and HiO3 are the byproducts in this reaction, and you can see this OH has been oxidized to C double bond O, and this carbon carbon bond it has been cleaved. So while writing shifting these arrows, always start from this carbon carbon bond. So this is the mechanism with the para-iodic acid. So this reaction is called Mel-Parrot reaction. Similarly, the mechanism with the lead tetraacetate is exactly same with this. So it is exactly same. I once again write the same equation, same compound, because they are similar mechanisms. Lead tetraacetate, it gives you C double bond O, C double bond O plus 2CH3COOH plus lead CH3COO twice, lead diacetate. So let us try to write its mechanism. So again, once again, what I will do, I will just write it like this, COH plus lead tetraacetate. So we I will simply write it like this, OCOCH3 twice. So OCOCH3 OCOCH3, and they will be removed as your acetic acid. Here it will be removed as your acetic acid. So what you get C O lead CH3COO twice plus 2 CH3COOH. So we have generated one of our byproduct here. So in the next step is similar. We have to break this bond. Always start from here. So yeah, this goes here. So what you get from here, you get this bond has been broken. So what you have get, C double bond O plus C double bond O. Now you can see we have broken this carbon carbon bond. So that are the products. So we have get this plus lead CH3 diacetate, this. So that is the second byproduct. So that is the mechanism of this reaction. So you can see the mechanism with this as well as this is exactly same. Here lead tetraacetate forms a cyclic structure like this. Here this H4IO6 negative, it forms a cyclic structure like this, which then breaks according to our products, desired products, which in which carbon carbon bond it breaks. So that is the mechanism of these two reactions. These are exactly similar, just we have changed the second reactions, otherwise the mechanism is exactly same. You can see here one additional step is that generation of this species. Okay, that is the only difference between these two mechanisms, otherwise they are same. So this is your oxidative cleavage of glycols, which occurs with the cleavage of carbon carbon bond. Now let us see what are the uses of this reaction. The first use is that it helps to determine your structure. This we can use this reaction to determine the structure of a glycol. So let us see how we can use. Suppose we have diols of butane. We have butane 1,2-diol. We have butane 2,3-diol, and we have butane 1,3-diol. Now first let us write the structure, then we can see how with the help of this Melparade reaction we can determine their product. So butane 1,2-diol is CH3 CH2 CHOH CH2 OH. Butane 2,3-diol is CH3 CHOH CHOH CH3, and butane 1,3-diol is CH3 CHOH CH2 CH2OH. So this is your butane 1,2-diol, butane 2,3-diol, butane 1,3-diol. Now suppose we do its HiO4 Melparade reaction, HiO4 and HiO4. Now let us see what are the products. So these bonds will be cleaved. Here there will be no reaction because these are these OH groups, they are not present on adjacent carbon. Here it will form CH3 CH2 CHO propanol plus formaldehyde. Here the product is CH3 CHO plus CH3 CHO. So we can write it like this will be the product. So we can write 2CH3 CHO acetaldehyde. So this is our acetaldehyde, and this butane 1,3-diol, it does not undergo any reaction. So now after determining the structure of products, we can determine that these products has been obtained. We can design the reactant. So how this method used? We react any diol with HiO4, and we then after the reaction we analyze their product. So now as in this case, now we have get propanol and formaldehyde, and these can be obtained only from when we have butane 1,2-diol, because if we do its cleavage we will get these product. So if we get acetaldehyde, 2 moles of acetaldehyde, that means the structure will be like this, because only this structure can lead to the 2 molecules of acetaldehyde, and if it is a butane 1,3 diol, no reaction will take place. So that means if no reaction has taken place, that means these OH groups, they are not attached to one another, so that means they will be 1,3 diol, or they can even be 1,4 diol. So if we get propanol and formaldehyde, that these can be obtained only from butane 1,2 diol, because you can write its theoretical reaction, you have to do back steps. So you have to imagine these products, you have to write the structure of alcohol such that we can get these products, and these will be analyzed experimentally. After doing reaction, after experimentally determining what products are formed, then we try to imagine that these products, they might have been obtained from this reactant. So then we try to find the structure of this our diol. Now suppose we do reaction of this any alcohol with HiO4, and we get these two products, propanol and formaldehyde. Then what we will do, we will try to write the all the possible structures with the diol, and then we will try to theoretically do the reaction. Suppose we will write these three structures that are possible, then we will try to split this according to our knowledge of mechanism, and we will see these products can be obtained from what structure isomer, and these two products, they can obtain from butane 1,2 diol. So if we get these two products after Melparade reaction, then we will say that our reactant is butane 1,2 diol. If we get acetaldehyde, 2 moles of acetaldehyde, only acetaldehyde is formed, then we will say this can be obtained from butane 2,3 diol. So we can relate the structure of your products with the structure of your reactant by applying knowledge of our Melparade reaction. That is how you can use this reaction to determine the structure of your diol. So that is one application. The second application is it can be used to determine number of OH groups. Now in this case we have two categories. One category is the compound is polyhydroxy compound, that it contains only OH groups. Okay, so now let us see, let us try to write some polyhydroxy compounds. Suppose CH2OH, CH2OH, this is the first polyhydroxy compound, it contains two OH groups. Now suppose if we react with HiO4, what we will get? HCHO plus HCHO. Now suppose let us come to next, CHOH, CH2OH, 3 OH groups per molecule, these two will break. Now we need 2 moles of HiO4. We will get these will be converted to aldehydes, to HCHO, and this is the internal alcohol, this will give you formic acid. Okay, so now suppose if we have 4, I will write structure here. So CH2OH, CHOH, CHOH, CH2OH, HiO4, this will break, this will break, this will break. So what we get? We get HCHO, this will be HCHO2, HCHO, this will be formic acid, this will be formic acid. And how many per 4 carbon carbon bond, per carbon carbon bond we need 1 HiO4. Now here one bond is broken, so we need 1. Here 2 carbon carbon bonds are broken, so we need 2 Hi. Here 3 carbon carbon bonds, they are cleaved, so we will need 3 moles of HiO4. So what I mean to say, now after quantifying the amount of HiO4, how much HiO4 used, after by counting number of moles of HiO4 used, we can determine number of OH groups. So when the compound contains only OH groups, it is a polyhydroxy compound, then we can find a generalization. For 2 OH groups, 1 mole of HiO4 used. For 3 OH groups, 2 moles of HiO4 used, and for 4 OH groups, 3 HiO4 moles are used. So we can say for n moles of OH groups, for n moles of or n numbers of OH groups, n minus 1 moles of HiO4 are used. So after counting quantitatively, measuring the how much HiO4 has been used, we can find n. If we know n minus 1, we can find n. Now suppose we do any reaction with HiO4 and it is a only polyhydroxy compound. I am once again repeating, this rule is only for polyhydroxy compounds. So suppose 5 moles of HiO4 are used. Let us assume 5 moles of HiO4 are used. Then we can say our compound contains how many moles of OH? It is 5 plus 1, 6. 6 OH groups are there. So you can do vice versa. So if for polyhydroxy compounds n moles of HiO4 are used, then we have n plus 1 moles of OH, or n plus 1 number of OH groups. So if so 1 is used, we have 2 OH groups. 2 moles are used, we have 3 OH groups. 3 moles are used, we have 4 OH groups. So for n moles we have n plus 1 OH groups. If n moles of HiO4 are used, then we have n plus 1 OH groups in a compound, and the condition is these are adjacent and the compound is only polyhydroxy. That you have to keep in mind. This rule is only for adjacent hydroxy groups. So we will say it has if 5 moles of HiO4 are used, then we will say it has 6 adjacent OH groups present in this compound. So that's how we can determine number of OH groups for polyhydroxy compound. Second case is for polyhydroxy aldehydes and polyhydroxy ketones. So these are also polyhydroxy aldehyde. Very good example is glucose. Polyhydroxy ketone is fructose. We have other compounds. These are two most common examples of polyhydroxy aldehydes and polyhydroxy ketones. So let us write structure of glucose: CHOH, 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 1 2 3 4 5, and CH2OH. This is your glucose. C6H12O6, and fructose is CH2OH, C double bond O, CHOH, 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 CH2OH. This is again C6H12O6. This is aldehyde, this is ketone. Now suppose if we react it with HiO4, let us see how many bonds will break. So alpha hydroxy aldehydes, they can undergo this reaction. This will cleave, this will cleave, this will cleave, this will cleave, this will cleave. So 1 2 3 4 5, 5 bonds will cleave. So for one bond we need 1 HiO4. For 5 bonds we will need 5 HiO4, and the product will be, this will be converted to formic acid. This is internal formic acid, formic acid, formic acid, formic acid. So 5 HCOOH plus aldehyde, HCHO. This will be the product. Here how many bonds? Alpha hydroxy ketones, they undergo this reaction that we have already done. So this bond will cleave, this bond will cleave, this bond will cleave, this bond will cleave, this bond will cleave. 1 2 3 4, 5 bonds will cleave. So we need 5 moles of HiO4. The product will be CH2OH, CH2OH, they will give aldehyde, HCHO. C double bond O will give carbon dioxide, plus this 1 2 3 internal OH groups will give 3 formic acid. So these are the products. But now we are not bothered about products because we have to quantify number of OH groups. Now you can see 5 moles of HiO4, they have been used to oxidize glucose. Now this glucose contains how many OH groups? 1 2 3 4 5. 5 OH groups. Similarly, this fructose contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 OH groups. So both glucose and fructose, they have 5 OH groups, and for these 5 moles of HiO4 are used. So we can conclude that for polyhydroxyaldehydes and for polyhydroxyketones, if n moles of HiO4 are used, then the compound contains n number of, I will write here, the compound contain n number of OH groups. This I have correlated with the structure of glucose and fructose. 5 moles are used, 5 OH groups, 5 moles are used, 5 OH groups. So we can say for polyhydroxyaldehydes and polyhydroxyketones, the number of OH groups is equal to the number of moles of HiO4 used, whereas if the compound is only polyhydroxy, then the number of OH groups is equal to n plus 1, where n is the number of moles of HiO4 used. So this is the difference. If the compound is only polyhydroxy, then n moles of HiO4. If n moles of HiO4 are used, then the compound will contain n plus 1 OH groups. If it is a polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, then the compound will contain, if n moles of HiO4 are used, it will contain n number of OH groups. That is how you can use this reaction to determine number of OH groups. So that was all for today. So it is very important reaction Melprate. So basically these are used for carbohydrates. As I have done this glucose and fructose, they are carbohydrates. So by this, for the structure determination and to count number of OH groups, we use this reaction to find the structure and number of OH groups in any carbohydrate or some polyhydroxy compound. So we have done its mechanism also. It is very easy. The mechanism for lead tetraacetate and HiO4 are same, and then we did its application. So please go through it very carefully and try to apply your thoughts also, how we have correlated, because these things they are helpful in other reactions also. So how we have correlated the number of moles of HiO4 used with the number of OH groups in polyhydroxy compound and in polyhydroxyaldehydes and polyhydroxyketones. So please don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you very much. In our next lecture we will do one more important reaction, pinacolone rearrangement. Thank you very much.